This is Jason with Chicago News, and we're really excited because we've got this brand new 2018 Volvo XC60, and this is the T8 inscription plug-in hybrid version. Around the front here, you've got Volvo's signature grille, but what you find with this newest Volvo design language is just really clean. There's not a lot of additional elements like other manufacturers are doing to clutter up the front of their cars. This is simple, clean design. This mid-sized SUV class is really crowded. What you have here is a really adaptable one. Right now it's in its lowest ride height setting. This will actually raise up almost 4 inches from this point, so you can really adapt this to your use. But one of the keys to this one is this plug right here. This is the plug-in version. There's actually a ton of cargo space, given that this isn't the biggest of SUVs, but it's full of a ton of really convenient features. Like here, you can actually lower the rear of the car if you've got a heavier load to put in, and then raise it back up once you get in. Just full of conveniences. It's clear that this is a really great looking SUV on the outside, and we know Volvo's been killing it on the interior. So I'm excited to get inside and check this out. This is just as beautiful as any of the others, even more so. There's some slight touches they're improving. Our test model has a really cool birchwood inlay here. We got stitching on top of the dash. Just everything about this interior, it screams high-end and it feels high-end. But this is the T8 XC60. It's got 400 horsepower, 472 foot-pounds. So we really want to see what it'll do when you put your foot down. You feel that immediate torque. The electric motor in this hybrid is driving the rear wheels. So it's an all-wheel drive system, intelligent all-wheel drive, where the electric motor can come in as needed. In performance mode like we have it now, this thing scoots. It's not a Porsche killer by any means. This isn't meant to compete in a performance driving capacity with the likes of a Porsche Macan. It's a lot heavier. There's a lot more luxury here. The power is much more seamless. It's not meant to feel like a sports car. It's just meant to feel smooth and powerful. The electric motor enhances the smoothness. We've often complained about a little bit of buzziness out of this twin charge 2-liter that makes 316 horsepower on its own. Additional 84 horsepower with the electric motor out back for a total of 400. Most of the time when you take off from a light, you're taking off on EV only, so it's really obvious when the gasoline engine kicks in. Now, this is a plug-in hybrid, as we talked about, so this can go up to 20 miles EV only. So depending on what you're doing on any given day, you might just be able to get everything done on EV only. There's a couple different driving modes you can choose here in the center. One of them optimizes EV range, only brings in the gasoline engine if absolutely necessary. Even though you can slightly hear the supercharger whine of the 2-liter, I have to say the absolute smoothness of the EV only mode is kind of preferred here. But with a 4,900 pound vehicle, it really needs both the gas and electric motor to get this thing accelerating the way that you might want it to. The EV only mode would just be for around town, but all in all, the real key here is that the plug-in version and the 20-mile range make this eligible for $6,000 tax credit. So even though we're sitting in the top of the line T8 inscription with just about every option, you can take $6,000 right off of that for the tax credit. And then Volvo is also doing a number of incentives. If you're converting from a BMW or a Mercedes or an Audi, they will give you further incentives to switch to this Volvo. And having driven all of them, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't at least go check this out, because this is really the pinnacle right now, certainly in terms of interior design. The exterior is beautiful, as we've already seen, and it actually is a great value given the quality of the interior and the features, and now the efficiency you're getting with this hybrid. The driving modes really change a number of parameters, not just throttle response, how it engages the electric mode, but also changes steering feel and a number of other parameters. And then there's also an off-road mode, which raises this thing way up. I mean, it really is a huge ride height gain when you go to the full off-road mode. It only works under 25 miles an hour, but you know, in that big snowstorm, or you know, if you ever did want to go take this on an off-road, you know, you wanted to go do a picnic off somewhere where it's a little less accessible, this can do it. And you know, that cross country, that's part of the name of this vehicle. It's not just lip service, this thing can actually do it. There's a number of key things that we've talked about with Volvo in some of our other reviews that just bear repeating here, and that is this has active safety features that really kind of define the field right now. These active safety features are part of Volvo's commitment to basically eliminate any fatalities or serious injuries in Volvo vehicles by 2020. And the actual function of these systems, it's very seamless, but at the same time, you can tell that this system is watching out and is keeping you safe. It's kind of a peek into the future. Again, with the radar cruise, semi-autonomous driving that you have in this, you're getting an idea of what it's going to be like in a few years. Another commitment that Volvo has made is use electric power in all of their vehicles, and I have to say that this combination of gas and electric is one of the best I've driven in terms of power delivery. This actually feels powerful. With some of the performance cars that Volvo used to produce, it's easy to kind of lament the fact that they're not going to do any big high displacement, big power engines anymore. It's all going to be electric power, even their performance versions. But this gives a great little peek into just how quick a combination gas and electric vehicle can be. As we've discussed before with Volvo, this infotainment system is really one of the hallmarks of their new identity, and again here, just seamless, easy to use, the way that you actually have tabs for each function and you can switch between them quickly. The amazing audio system. This has the optional Bowers & Wilkins stereo, which is a $3,200 option, but absolutely something you should look for. It's really one of the most amazing car audio systems I've ever heard. You get real ease of control of all of the HVAC system. You've got hard buttons on the wheel and through the center stack here to control some key functions that you're going to use more often. It really is one of the better and cleaner control systems in any vehicle these days. You also get this full LCD dash up here. You've got basically essentially a glass cockpit. You can change what's in the center, but you know, the best mode that I've found for me is to put the nav screen in the center between the two gauges here, and then you can use either messaging or have your audio displayed in the center here, do any other functions that you need. It doesn't take up the whole screen here for your navigation when you can put it in the center. So we're on our favorite stretch of curvy road. We're going to go ahead and select the sport driving mode. It immediately tightens the steering up a little bit. We've talked about this not being the lightest vehicle, but let's see how it handles. It definitely is a more luxury vehicle. This obviously handles great. It's got really good tires on it and a really great suspension system, but it's not tuned for performance. You can feel the body roll. It actually floats a little bit through the turns more than we'd like. Again, not the intentions of this vehicle by any stretch, but you know, something we want to try out. You know, in terms of talking about a pure performance vehicle, it's a little hard to wrap your mind around an electrically powered vehicle sometimes. It just doesn't feel like the right thing. When you're comparing it to some older, you know, internal combustion, beautiful sounding engines. But this, in terms of a luxury vehicle, when this is in electric mode, it's actually smoother than most of the luxury vehicles that came before it. So I think the electric powertrain that Volvo's gearing towards really fits with luxury shift they've done with their brand. I mean, Volvo is really known as just a really safe utilitarian transport mode, but they've been making this transformation. And this, now that the XC60 has been updated, the new S60 and V60 are right around the corner. Basically, the whole line will be updated to this new ultra luxurious feel on the inside. All that extra luxury feel, though, comes at a cost. These definitely are not inexpensive vehicles. Not only do they stand up against their German competition, in many ways they're better. There's also little touches throughout this interior that really complete the luxury aesthetic. You've got this crystal shift knob in the center here. You've got lots of different materials that really have a luxury feel to them. This excellent, extremely soft leather, incredibly supportive yet luxurious seat. The seats have obviously heat, but they're heated, cooled, and massage seats as well. Again, just every piece of luxury that you can imagine is available here. If you'll excuse us for a minute, we just turned on the seat massagers. We're just gonna take a minute, relax here. That feels really good. So what do we think of this brand new XC60? Well, it had some really big shoes to fill after the XC90 and S90, and it's really kind of raised the bar again. It's a combination of a really incredible hybrid powertrain with an extremely luxurious interior. When you combine that tax credits that you can get and some of the savings that Volvo's offering, this is actually a luxury value.